Alright, start my next live. No one's tuned in yet, but I'm going to post this on YouTube. I'm going to post it on IGTV after. Today, you got Brendan Koplin. Alright, he's about to join right now. It's loading up.
Hey, what's up, man?
Alright, man, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Alright, so today I got Brendan Koplin with me. He plays UPSL. He's a D3 college soccer player. And he's also another YouTuber. So he posts a lot of great training videos, stuff like that. So I'll let you introduce yourself better than I did, and then we'll start.
Yeah. So, I play college for Concordia Moorhead. I'm a sophomore there. And then, like you said, I play in the UPSL for Rochester. Started doing that last season. Obviously, this season got canceled, but I guess that's pretty much it. I'm 20 years old, and I just started YouTube.
So are you going to be a sophomore next year, or you were a sophomore this year?
I'm a sophomore this year, so I'll be a junior next year.
Okay. All right, so you're a year older than me.
Yeah.
So you've been playing UPSL for 2 years then, or?
So this would have been my second year, but it got canceled, obviously. So so 1 year pretty much.
All right. What have you been up to during quarantine? How are you staying sane?
Yeah, so pretty much, quarantine's one of the big reasons I actually started YouTube. Just like something extra to do, kind of like take my mind off everything. But other than that, I've been working. I work at a golf course. And then, just like training and stuff like that. So how about you?
I've just been trying to keep busy, like making videos, working out. I'm going to start doing physical therapy for my ankle just to make sure it doesn't get injured again bad. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. What's up, Caleb?
Yeah, what up, Caleb? So chat, if you guys have questions, obviously if they're relevant, we'll answer them. So if you feel you got a question, just drop it in the chat. Today I want to talk about mostly like UPSL, because we talked a lot about college soccer. I know the other people, a lot of it is about college soccer. And it's something I've been really interested in. I feel like a lot of people, there's a lot of people that do it, but a lot of people don't really like understand much about it. So just talk us through like how you heard about it, and then like how you got onto the team, and like starting out, what was it like?
Okay, yeah. So I heard about it through a friend. I was in college, and he just texted me saying that there were like tryouts in the winter and asking me if I wanted to come do those. So I went to the tryouts, did pretty good. The coaches emailed me and then asked if I wanted to like sign, because you have to like sign a contract for the summer. And so then I signed that, and I actually ended up missing the first 2 weeks of practice because I was still in college. So I kind of joined in a little bit late. But that's pretty much how it all started for me, I guess.
Yeah, because UPSL, for those of you that don't know, I haven't played UPSL. I've wanted to. I was going to try this summer, but again, all this stuff happened. But basically, in college, when you're college to state eligible, you can't play with any other teams until the summer, until you're out of school. So you can't do a winter break either. And then you also, you can't receive like any form of payment or like sponsorships or anything like that. So that's why pretty much like the best you could do. I think there's some guys that train with like MLS academies, but they have to like really make sure they're not getting paid or anything. But a lot of college players play UPSL, or guys that just got out of college trying to go to the next level. And then going into that, playing the UPSL, what do you think is the difference as far as skill level between that and then playing D3?
Yeah, okay. So I think in terms of like technical ability, the players in the UPSL are like a little bit higher up than some of the guys in D3. But I think in terms of physicality, I feel like D3 might be it's like the pace is faster, I think, and it's a little bit more physical. But I think overall, I'd say UPSL, the level is a little bit higher, just because there's D1 players playing, D2 players. It's a bigger range of players, I guess.
Yeah. From what I've seen, like a few guys on my team that play UPSL, and one of them normally plays like USL League 2, which is like the highest level of amateur leagues, pretty much. And you can see they're definitely normally technically better. But that's something I noticed too. Even watching like the USL, sometimes it's like the speed of play doesn't feel that fast, but you see their touches and everything is way
Yeah,
higher
yeah.
than
It's so much
college.
higher, yeah.
So we like to just press everybody, run straight at
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah, that's what we do
And then,
too. So
yeah, pros, that doesn't work. They're just going to pass around you.
yeah,
So
exactly.
in some ways you might look at it and think college seems faster, but the skill is definitely not the same level from what I've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
And then with the season, so like I said, you can only really do it in the summer. And then you said you missed like the first 2 weeks of training because you're still in school. So is it like you have a few weeks, if you're a college player and you get there, do you have a couple weeks of training and then games start? And then there's like do you miss like a postseason when you go back to school, or how does the season work?
No, so actually I ended up missing the first game too. I think the first game was May 1st, which was like the day that I ended college.
Oh yeah.
So and then the season, so it actually, I think like the first game was May 1st, and then it didn't end until I think like late July, so I was able to stay until the end of the season. If we would have made like nationals and stuff, I think I would have had to miss some of the later rounds of that for college. But
yeah, I thought I've seen a few of them like on their Instagrams. It would say like if they want like the national champions, some division or something. I think it said like it was in like August or September. So I was thinking because there are guys that don't play in college that play UPSL too.
Yeah.
So, and you have to get those kind of guys on the team, or else you make the playoffs. You don't have any.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can't be all college guys.
And with the travel, because I know like if you're playing USL League 2, there aren't a whole lot of teams in that league, but UPSL there's teams everywhere. So how does the travel work? Like, is almost every game in state, or are there tournaments, or?
Yeah, so I think we had like 10 league games, and I think I would say the majority of them were in Minnesota, which is where I'm from. There was like 3 or 4 teams in like the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And then we ended up traveling to, I think, Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, just a few of the states around. And then we also had a few friendlies too, but those are mostly in-state as well.
So for your travel, is it like on a bus and do you have to pay, or is it covered, or like how does that work?
Yeah, so the travel's covered. It's a coach bus. And so, yeah, we would just like meet at like a quick trip or something every time before we left. And then it was kind of like a whole day thing. We'd get there pretty early, warm up, stuff like that, and then get into the game. And then we'd obviously get on the bus and go back. So, yeah, everything was covered for us.
That's kind of how my college season worked too. Is that how it worked for you pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. It was, similar to college for travel and stuff.
Yeah. The thing, like you said, what's pretty crazy is that here in Arizona, I've looked for like every kind of level of soccer, indoor soccer, like all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
And there's barely any teams. Like,
oh, really?
We have USL Championship, Phoenix Rising. We have USL 1, which is in Tucson, which is 2 hours away.
Okay.
Then we have one UPSL, but it's still hard to find like their emails, all that stuff. Then there'll be teams I'll search up and I'll say, well, they played in the futsal league or the MISL, the indoor soccer league. And then I look it up and it's like, this team isn't existing anymore. There's like no way to contact them. And then in Texas, my school is an hour from San Antonio. They have like 3 or 4 UPSL teams just in San Antonio. So it's,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But just in general, like the DA, I know there's there's certain states like California and then like Florida, Texas, New York, where they have like a ton of DA teams when that was around. And then there'd be like parts of the country where there's nothing there. And then
yeah, exactly.
Just in general, it's kind of like that. But
yeah, it's kind of like, there's like clusters, I feel like, in certain areas, and then there's spots where there's nothing too. So
yeah, so for you, like you said, travel is super easy, but that was also something I was thinking about, like where would we play games? And so you said you have a job too, right?
Yeah.
And did you have a job last summer when you were doing this? Like, could you balance that stuff out?
Yeah, I had a job last summer too. I worked a lot less just because I didn't really have much free time with practices and like games and stuff like that. But yeah, so I did still have a job. I probably worked like 3 times a week last summer.
So, like going along with that, how many times a week do you guys train? And then like how much time of your week does that take up just for UPSL stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, last year we trained, I think we started at like 6 p.m. and we trained, I think, 5 times a week. And then we usually have a game on Saturdays and then Sundays off. So it was a pretty big commitment. It was like 6 times per week that you're expected to, show up and be there. But so yeah, it did take quite a bit of time out of my schedule and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much like college level commitment.
Yeah,
training. But I'm sure that also does depend on the team as well, of how professional they are. And
yeah, that's true.
Caleb said, how many people went to your tryout, and do you have to try out every year, or are you guaranteed the next year?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think there was like 65-ish players at the tryouts. And we did have to go back to tryouts this year, but it was more of just to like help like set things up and stuff like that. And we did like play a little bit in the tryouts too, but that was kind of our choice. So I don't think we would have had to go back. But yeah, that's a good question.
So again, kind of like college, I guess. I think a D3 not so much, but other levels they can, reduce your scholarship or do certain things, and you can still go down to the reserve team or not play. But that does sound similar. And then, I mean, you kind of already talked about it a little bit, but typically, what level of college players are playing the UPSL, specifically on your team? Does it seem to mostly be D3 Ncaa, or is there like a really good mix of D1, D2, D3, all that?
Yeah, so it was actually a pretty good mix. I think we had maybe 1 or 2 D1 guys, a couple D2, a bunch of like Ncaa guys actually, and then a few D3 as well, and then some that just didn't play at all in college. But we actually had a few ex-professional players too, which is kind of cool to be playing with those guys. Yeah, but that was fun.
My bad.
No, you're good.
Did they just those ex-professionals, were they just like wanting to play, but they didn't want to play with all the pressure, or what?
Yeah, I think so. They were probably retired at that point. I think they were like in their 30s. So yeah, definitely past the point of like playing like really competitively, professionally, and stuff like that. So
yeah, I've heard about like Matt Sheldon and some other guys that like went over to Europe and they played in like the lower divisions. They said it's kind of a mix too of like young guys. They're just getting started out. They have to work their way up. And then also like some of those older guys where they're like, they might have the skill to play the higher level, but they're just like, I just want to enjoy it and not like have the pressure on you. And
exactly. That's kind of like the difference between that and college too, is where it's like, it's a huge age range. I think we had a guy that was 17 and we had a guy that was like 39. So yeah, it's a really big age range.
Yeah. And I know, again, like this is just coming from one UPSL team. But like there's overall themes to it, but there are also a lot of teams that are different. Like you said, training, stuff like that. But overall it's probably going to make you better, at least just training 5 times a week with other people. So that was something, because last summer, pretty much did everything individually and had like a couple people I train with every once in a while. And it's kind of hard to find people that actually like serious training.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I usually drive like 45 minutes a couple times a week just to find guys to play with. So yeah, it's tough, but
yeah. So then I was like, okay, spring break, I'm going to email all of them, all the teams I can find, whether it's futsal, real soccer, or whatever. Yeah. Then of course Corona happens. And then and then it doesn't seem that bad, but then it keeps getting worse. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to hit up other people, like anyone in the area want to train. So I'm probably going to be back in that situation again with the individual training. So that was why, like, I really wanted to try UPSL, just because at the least you're getting team training consistently, and it won't be as goof around as like club is, obviously.
Yeah.
Like playing with your old club team would probably be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was taken pretty seriously by most of the guys, so that was good.
Yeah, I had another question I forgot I was going to ask. Oh, the one thing I was going to point out too. Have you heard of any schools? Because in San Antonio, there's UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, and they don't have a men's like NCAA team. They're D1. Okay. They have a club team, but pretty much like all those guys in that club team play for a UPSL team. Yeah, which they call them the Roadrunners, and it's basically just like exact same colors. But I don't think it's like official whatever. Have you heard of any other schools doing that kind of thing where they might have club players play on a UPSL team or something?
Yeah, so the University of Minnesota, actually, they don't have a D1 or soccer team at all, but they do have a club team. And I'm not sure if there's like a designated team they play for, but I know a lot of those guys definitely play for UPSL and MPSL teams in the area. So.
Oh, MPSL too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was something else I was going to bring up because we do have an MPSL team here, and I think they're a little more professional than some other teams. And somehow, one of my dad's friends works with the guy that's like running the MPSL team.
Okay.
And like none of them know. Like my dad's friend doesn't really know anything about soccer, but he's like, hey, maybe you could email him. So I email him, and he tells me like, okay, we pay players between 75 to like 1,000 per game or something. And then I was like, oh, well, I was like, what? I just want to train. I can't lose my eligibility. Because this was last summer.
Sorry, what did you say? Players?
Yeah, and I think when you get to those levels, like UPSL, I don't think there's anybody getting paid at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, because it makes it clear like we're amateur. But it's like, I think even USL League 2, sometimes they can pay for certain things, or like cover housing. That's what I've heard. And then MPSL is also like kind of like a toss-up. Like some guys get nothing. Some guys might, just like college, like scholarships. Like some guys might get paid, or their housing, or meals or something. But so then I replied, I was like, oh, wait, I can't get paid or anything. And then I think, I don't know, some of these clubs, they might just be like, you either want you on the team or not, kind of like jobs over the summer. Like they don't want you to just hang around and leave. So
yeah, they want you to be committed to it and stuff.
Yeah, that might have lost his interest, but that was also something like UPSL. USL 2 is probably a lot harder to get into. So it does seem most college players like UPSL is their go-to, and even D1 players go in there and still improve. So
yeah, we actually had a guy. He was going to come in this year, but he played for Creighton, so he was supposed to be really good too. But yeah, it's all levels can really find improvements from playing UPSL, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So now it's like you commented on one of my videos about this, but I was also just wondering, like as far as the gear, and like we said, amateur, you can't get paid, but do they have like nice facilities you train at? Do you get a lot of shirts or gear, things like that?
Yeah, so we play at it's like a technical college, is like our home turf, I guess, our home pitch. And it's pretty nice. I think it seats like 5,000 people. Obviously we don't get close to ever filling that, but it's a nice turf field and stuff like that. And there's pretty nice locker rooms and stuff too. And then for gear, I think we got like 2 training tops, like 2 training shorts, obviously like game stuff, like jerseys, socks, stuff like that. And then we got like 1 long sleeve practice shirt or whatever we wanted to use it for, a travel shirt, which is like just like a nice like collared shirt that they wanted us to wear, and then like a bag to put all our stuff in. So yeah, it was pretty good for gear.
Compared to your D3 school, is that more or about the same or less or what?
I think it was actually a little bit less, but I think it was similar for sure. How about you? What did you guys get for your? I saw your video, but just to recap, kind of.
Yeah. I got, so there's a few things we didn't get to keep, but we did get to keep. We had like 3 different shirts, 1 like sleeveless, 2 were just t-shirts for training. We wore them every day. We got a maroon long sleeve. I'm actually wearing these shorts.
Oh, okay.
They're like almost like board shorts, but we just wear them when we traveled pretty much.
Yeah, that's nice.
Then we got a pair of socks that we'd wear every day for training. What else did we keep? Then the things we didn't get to keep, we had a bag for the season. We had training shorts we returned, and we had like a nice like quarter zip Under Armour jacket. We had to return that as well. I thought there was something else, but
okay, so you actually have to keep some of that stuff though?
Yeah. And we're trying to do more like fundraisers and stuff, so the next few seasons we can keep more and get more. So
Yeah, because like for us, I don't think we got to keep anything. We got a bunch of stuff, but it was like only for like obviously like the school months.
Oh,
for,
wow.
For college, yeah.
Yeah, like it's kind of surprising because you go into a university and it's expensive, and you're like, oh, they probably have like really nice stuff, and then there is a big range though. Like, I don't know if you've heard of Trinity, but they're in our conference, and they're
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, they're a really good D3 school, and they're wearing like the MLS and USL players wear like the heartbeat like monitors pre-game.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yeah, so some of these schools, even D3, they can be spoiled, and then some of us, we're left out here on our own. We gotta fundraise and do things to bring in money because we're smaller, or just to be honest, we're just not the best soccer programs there haven't been. So
yeah, exactly.
You got to earn that. German CS. While playing college soccer, what are some restrictions you guys have? You want to answer that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think in terms of like. I'm trying to think of like what exactly like in terms of what. Because like we don't really have too many like restrictions that the coach like puts on us. I guess. Do you guys have anything in specific?
Yeah, coach like. I don't think he made like a specific set of rules for us or anything, but I did remember before the season, if you're talking about like NCAA restrictions.
Oh yeah.
We had a whole meeting about it, and I don't remember much, to be honest. It was really boring. I do remember one thing was kind of crazy is like they told us we can't bet on sports, we can't bet on like fantasy football. So, because like some of those players were former NCAA players or something. Yeah, that's their explanation. And then even with YouTube and like making content, making money off that, I need to look up the rules for that because
I don't know anything about that really.
Yeah, I've heard everyone say you can't like monetize, and I'm not even at that point yet where I could.
Right. Yeah, it's obviously same here, but
yeah, but it's like it's hard to find, or like you ask people and they're just like, I don't know, like just play it safe and don't do it. So
yeah.
Some of that is kind of confusing. But yeah, basically, like I said, can't really bet on things. We have drug tests like randomly, things like that.
Oh yeah, you guys do have that?
Yeah, I think they test like 2 people on a team each season or something. It's really weird. Like random people.
I don't think we had that. But
it's really weird how they do it.
Yeah.
Like you think they just test everybody, but
I know. Yeah.
I don't know if I do that.
Kind of hit or miss that way, I guess.
Yeah, for real. And then like I said, in certain ways you can't make money off your own name. So that's why I don't hear about college players like signing like endorsements with shoe brands or things like that.
Yeah.
That might change in a couple of years.
I read that, yeah.
Yeah. And then they're also, I think in certain states too, like California is trying to get it so they actually get paid. So that will probably also depend on state, the division, because like we can't get athletic scholarships.
Yeah.
So I think I was actually talking to Caleb about this, and he said there might actually be rules for D3 specifically where we can make more money, or some of the other things are different because they're factoring in like we can't get athletic scholarships. So
yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, but I'm sure they have a whole list of rules somewhere, but most of us just skim over it.
We had that meeting too, and I don't remember anything from it.
Yeah,
except for the betting thing, like you said, but
yeah, it was really boring.
Yeah.
And then again, like even what we're doing, there's not that many people doing it, so it's probably something they haven't really thought about before much.
Yeah, that's true.
Just making money off social media is like something brand new in general. So I'm sure they'll be more clear about that in the future and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I haven't heard of any like set rules really about that. So
yeah, I've heard some people say like you can't make any money off YouTube or ad revenue or like advertise or do brand deals. And I've heard some people say, oh, well, like he did this while he was still in school. And then for now
it's
I'm
really
just going to play it safe and do more research. Oh, man. The UPSL games. Somebody else is going to wonder. I was wondering about this. When you play, is it like each game each week? Is it pretty consistent competition like you would like D3 in general? Most of the games are going to be pretty like hard fought, fairly even competition. Is it like that in UPSL?
Yeah, so I'd say for the most part, there were a few teams that really weren't very good. But yeah, for the most part, it was pretty intense, like pretty good competition. And we did play a couple of NPSL games too, or teams as well. And yeah, those games were tough as well because NPSL I think is technically a little bit above UPSL. But yeah, I'd say for the most part, the competition was pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know that much. I've never played. I've had a few teammates that have, and they've said, like there's been a few games they feel like they've gotten like destroyed, and then a few the other way around. But I do think that's something pretty good about the level. And then D3 too, like a lot of teams are fairly even. Every once in a while you hear about 8-0, 10-0 games, but it's not very common.
Yeah, that didn't really happen for us either, but
yeah, like we didn't do that well. But even when we lost, if it was by 3 or 4 goals, it was still like we're not like miles behind. It's a lot of little mistakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like the bottom team in my conference for college, like they played the top team and they only lost by like 1 goal. So like it was all the teams are pretty even, I think.
Yeah, and then we had our reserve team. They scrimmaged the UPSL team, like I said, in San Antonio. That's the UPSL for the club team of UTSA. And I think it was like 3-2 or something like that. It was pretty even. But I also think the UPSL team kind of brought like their B team players.
Okay.
But still, that's like our B team. So it's like it's pretty even level, and I think they were pretty skilled. I don't think our reserve team was necessarily like better than them, but like you said, it did feel like we were like more aggressive and physical. Yeah. And like pressing and playing the college style, I guess. More technique.
Just send it up every time.
Yes. How many times UPSL team trains? You said 5 times a week, right?
I do think that does vary though based on the teams, because I've heard of teams only training like 2 to 3 times a week as well. So it just depends on the individual team. So yeah, there's a pretty big difference there, I think.
What's up, Isaiah? Yeah. Geez, I forgot what my next point was.
What's up, Henry?
Oh, this is what I was going to say. Like, it does seem like NCAA overall is pretty even, like competition-wise. And then, like you said, UPSL compared to NCAA, it's not too far off. The only, and I think Ncaa or something like that, the junior college one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's huge, like, differences in levels there.
Yeah.
But it does seem like NAI can vary a lot, too, in skill level. And, like, 1 week, it'll be a super hard-fought game, and the next week, 20-0, literally, like.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, and I've heard of, like, junior college teams, like, beating D1 teams and stuff like that. But also there's some, like, really bad junior college teams, too. So there's a really big variable there. What's up, mate?
One of my teammates, he transferred from a JUCO, and he's like, yeah, the JUCO is probably better than our school. And I'm like, why'd you come here if it's like a different level? But it is interesting. Like, a lot of D3 players could go D1, could go D2 even, and they're like, I just want to stay closer to home, or maybe I just want to play all 4 years, like, for sure, whereas D1, I'm really going to have to work for it. Yeah. And then junior college, too, even, like, some guys are like, well, I'll start there instead of going to 4-year. And, and some of those JUCOs are, like, insanely good. Some are horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Then NAI, too, because I know one school offered me. We have, like, 3 schools within, like, an hour of my house that are NAI. Okay. And have soccer. So one school offered me a pretty good offer, but it was going to be their first year opening up. Oh, yeah. And then another school is in my hometown. I didn't really reach out to them much because I didn't want to stay right here. But this is like their 3rd year open. And then another school has been around for a while. And they're interested in me, but they don't have my major. Oh, yeah. And so the one that offered me, they did they did so bad. They did so bad this year. Because it was their first year. And I remember, I think they recruited me before I even upload videos or stuff too. So what?
Yeah.
How'd they even? So
yeah, so it's just kind of reaching out to a lot of people maybe.
Yeah, and some of these UPSLs, some of them are really well established, super good teams. They could take on D1 teams probably. They have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And then some of them are a lot of a lot of schools, and they first open and they want athletics. It seems like they go to Ncaa first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the team that offered me, that played, one of the teams that didn't have my major but were also interested in me, and the team that didn't have my major was ranked 18th in the country.
Really?
And they beat the one that offered me 18-0 or something.
No way.
The one in my hometown that played the one that offered me beat them 14-0. So
that's crazy. So it was a high school team or something.
Yeah, it's insane. I think some people Ncaa is not as popular, and then just everyone fantasizes D1.
Yeah,
but it's also Ncaa, they got super good talent, lots of international players.
Yeah.
And if you pick the right Ncaa school, if you pick a good Ncaa school, you're gonna be playing with really good talents. You can be a really great player. Some people, I think, kind of, I don't know, just don't get it's all about NCAA or D1,
yeah,
D2, and it's Ncaa is something totally separate. But some people emphasize too much that difference in divisions and all that stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, I think there's teams at all levels that are really high quality, and that can help you improve a lot. So I think a lot of people think obviously D1 is the best by a long shot, but there's a lot of teams D2, even some D3 that could compete with some of those D1 teams. So
yeah, like I said, Trinity, they scrimmaged. They've pretty much always been the best or one of the best in our conference, and they scrimmaged a D1 in San Antonio, and they beat them 4-1 or something.
Really?
Yeah, it was a really bad D1, but
yeah.
And then they also scrimmaged a D2 in San Antonio pretty much every year, and I think that was a really close game, or they barely won.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of these it may not seem D3 is that competitive or that, but again, then just even UPSL, like you said, some of these teams can be recreational almost.
Yeah.
Some of them can be like your team sounds pretty professional.
Yeah, it's
well
pretty
run, organized training, games. You get nice gear, all those things.
Yeah, there's definitely a huge range in UPSL teams and in college teams. So it's important to do research beforehand and figure out exactly what you're going to get with that team.
Yeah, exactly. Said, what's some advice you would give your old self? I'll let you go first.
Let's see here. That's a tough one. I think one of the biggest things for me is I wish I would have started playing club sooner, because I actually didn't start playing club until I was, I think, 15 or 16 years old. So I was kind of I played 3 sports. I played basketball and track and then soccer. So I think I wish I just would have spent more time being serious about soccer at a younger age, because I didn't really start taking it seriously until 16, 17 years old. How about you?
I don't know. I didn't start playing. I played club a few years when I was younger, when I was 8 to 11 or 12, and then I was I want to play American football and
yeah.
And then so for 2 years didn't play any soccer. High school first 2 years I played high school soccer, and then going into my junior year I quit everything except soccer, and I just played club in high school finally. In some ways I kind of wish I played club the whole time, but then again I learned things from football and other sports.
Yeah.
But just overall advice, I think I've always been fairly a hard worker. It's something I keep learning all the time. But just if you really want to do it, just do it. With football, sometimes I think I kind of always knew I like soccer more. It's just why not
Yeah.
try this out? Or it seems cooler. So, and nobody's going to have the same vision as you either. Like, even with this YouTube thing, sometimes I'd kind of hesitate or, like, get nervous for no reason. Like,
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and people might make jokes or whatever, but it's like I'm doing something, trying to help other people, trying to learn myself. You know, just do what you love to do.
Yeah, right.
No one can see like your vision for yourself, your vision for your future.
Right.
It's to you, I guess.
Yeah, and if you're doing like what you like to do, like why not do it? So, yeah, that's good advice.
Something else I was also wondering. It seems like you started a YouTube channel fairly recently. And so I found you through like Caleb a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so what like motivated you to start that? Was it something like you were thinking about for a while, or you just like wake up one day, I want to make a YouTube channel, I want to do this? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so I mean, I thought about it a few times in high school, and I was just like, nah, like I don't have time for that, whatever. And then, you know, like once quarantine hit, I had like so much extra free time that like I never had before, and I'm like, you know what, like why not start a YouTube channel and just like start off with some drills and like tutorials and stuff like that, and like just see where it goes. So yeah, pretty much just having all that free time is what kind of motivated me or sparked me to start it up. How about you? What was your big reason, I guess? Or
well, I think after I committed to play college soccer, I was like, it would be kind of cool to make some videos like training and stuff like that, because you realize a lot of people don't really know how it works or how like you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
So the summer before I was going to college, I was like really thinking about like, should I start it? But I also like didn't really know like how to start it, and I didn't just want to start it and like be clueless about editing and recording and all those kind of things. So I held off, and then I started like a week or so after my college season ended. And I think during my college season, that's like when I decided like I'm for sure gonna do it. But I was just like, I don't really have time to do that. So that's when I made my first video, like a week after it started. And basically just thinking like, watch like Matt Sheldon, Jack Blake, some of those guys. And I was like, that's really cool, but I also don't really see anybody like in college like doing it. And there's definitely, I'm seeing like a lot of us popping up now where I'm finding them now, and they've been around for a while, but it's like, I just thought that would be cool to be like one of those, like start something new and, you know, use my time and learn some new skills and stuff.
Kind of, just like a different perspective too, like from the college athlete standpoint too, is cool.
So up to this point, how has your college career been? And did that kind of factor into wanting to play UPSL, or that give you like confidence, like I should be on a semi-pro team, and like what's the story behind that?
So actually it's kind of the opposite almost, because so my freshman year I came in, I was like maybe 150 pounds, and I'm like 6 foot tall. So I was really small. And so I didn't really play much my freshman year. And then in the off season, I worked a lot on like athleticism, you know, gaining weight and stuff like that. And I gained like 25 pounds that year. And then I figured I just spent like a lot of time training too. And I'm like, all right, like if I want to play more next year, I got to play this summer. So that was kind of like where the inspiration for UPSL team came in. And so I went to the tryout, did really good. And then the rest of it is history, I guess. Yeah.
And then I mean, I don't want to go too deep into like our recruiting stories and all that. That'd be a whole nother talk and video. But, like kind of with that, could you just give like a quick summary, and then
just like how I was recruited, or
and then we already kind of explained like your freshman year and stuff like that. But did you also know anything about UPSL while you're being recruited, or was it something once you got to college you heard about it?
Yeah, so I'll start with like the recruiting. So I went to like it was like the MIAC soccer camp, and the MIAC is like the Minnesota Intercollegiate Athletic Conference or whatever. So it's just like a bunch of D3 teams. But I went to that, and that was kind of like the main form of recruitment that I got, because I talked to a few coaches there and kind of got their interest. And then as for like when I found out about UPSL, yeah, I didn't know about it during the recruiting process. I found out like the winter after my freshman year, actually, when my friend kind of hit me up and he's like, hey, like we should try out for this team.
Yeah. I think again, like now, like once you're in just with college soccer, but then also these other divisions of soccer and stuff, it's like it feels like sort of common sense. But just a year ago, I didn't know much about how the season worked.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about UPSL, all these other divisions, because in America too, it's changing like every year, every other year.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like there's teams popping up all over the place.
Yeah, and even like the USL, it's like I think a lot of those players and teams are nervous right now because they can't really afford to miss the season or not have fans at any of their games. Like, they're already kind of before all this, like they didn't have a whole lot of finances behind them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've heard news of like a lot of teams like possibly having to like shut down completely, which would really suck. But I guess we'll have to see kind of where it goes from here. Yeah,
I hope it doesn't get too bad, and
I know
we all get back into it. Because even colleges, you know, they're going to bring in money a lot too, even if everything's online.
Right.
But you still heard of a few programs like having to shut down soccer or other sports, and it's rough. Yeah, it's crazy, like everything that's happened, you know. But yeah, what about in Minnesota? How are things over there?
So in terms of the virus, not too bad. I think Minnesota did a pretty good job about it. But after, you know, all these like protests and riots and stuff like that, I think, you know, the case number is going to go up too for that. But yeah, Minnesota's just kind of been a mess these past few weeks.
That's what I was just thinking about. When I've been talking to you, like, man, it's like countrywide, but I can't imagine like how people are feeling there, and it must feel crazy where it all started, pretty much. Yeah, it's crazy because I'm like just under an hour away from like where it all happened and where everything's going on right now. So yeah, and I feel like Minnesota is kind of like the last place that I would expect something like that to happen to. Yeah, for real. Yeah. You don't hear about much big news coming from Minnesota. Right. What's up, Christian? Yeah, over here, the virus wasn't too bad. And then they got the numbers. They haven't even got the numbers since like the protests and things. But even the numbers before that, cases like since reopening had jumped up like a bunch. Yeah. So I can't imagine what it's going to be once we get the new numbers in. And I know. But I've just been pretty much staying home as much as I can anyways. Probably going crazy, but. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Yeah, just, you know, staying home, training with a couple of buddies, but really just like, you know, passing, you know, stuff that's not kind of too close or anything like that. So, yeah, I've been kind of going crazy too. Yeah, definitely. Has your school said anything about in the fall, or have you heard other schools what they've said about it? Yeah, so I know some schools have like completely like guaranteed that they'll be back in the fall. We haven't gotten like a message yet or like an official statement, but right now it's kind of up in the air. I think our coach really hasn't said too much in the past few weeks about what's going on, but I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that we go back because I don't want to miss, you know, a full season. But how about you? I was in like the same position. Like we didn't hear anything, and then within the last week, they released like a 72-page document or something, and they said it's subject to change. But it's sounding like really strict as of right now, and it's in Texas, so they've already opened up quite a bit of stuff, and out of all the states, they're probably the one that'll like try the hardest to open everything up and keep it open. But they said when we go back, before every practice, we're gonna have to get like temperatures taken. Really? I think we're all gonna have to get tested when we go back or before we go back. We're not gonna have like any visitors in our apartments. Okay. everyone's going to have their own room. I don't know how they're going to make that happen, but
Wow.
yeah, so I haven't read most of it. Those are just the things I've heard. So they're sounding like it'll be really strict, like the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know how classes are going to work. A lot of schools, like including ours, they're saying we're going to end before Thanksgiving as well.
Yeah. I think my sister's going to college this year, and I think that her school said that too. Like they're going to end really early, just to kind of prevent students from going back and forth or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
I think that was the same thought. Like everyone goes back for Thanksgiving, and then they all come back. Like who knows what they can spread.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy. I don't know how this is going to work this season either, because if you go to the national tournament, national championship, that lasts till like the first week of December. So they might like compact the games more or start earlier. I don't know.
Yeah. Honestly, like I have no idea, and I think it's going to be tough too, especially for like some of the D1 conferences where they're like, there's a lot more travel involved. And, because like if it's in state and the state's doing fine, it's probably a little bit easier to do all that. But yeah, all these D1 conferences that have to travel like hundreds of miles for games, I don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah, and then pretty much all the Cal State schools said we're just doing online. Since like for the other schools in their conference, like how are they going to make that work? And because a lot of it is like the school's decision. Like the NCAA can say things overall.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to like make a blatant statement that everyone comes back or everyone doesn't come back. But so that's going to make it really complicated.
Yeah, it's very up in the air right now for us. So.
Yeah. I mean, everyone wants to play in the fall, wants to go to school. But even with just like reopening, it's like just because they say it or you want to doesn't necessarily mean you should or it's safe. It's crazy.
Yeah. So are you guys open right now? Like, is your state open?
I mean, not like fully open. Like everyone can just like pack into it, like a concert or whatever. Like that, obviously. But we opened up restaurants like dine in, like limited capacity. I know there's churches that have like opened, but also like they spread the seats out, things like that.
Yeah.
And then gyms have opened, but a lot of them you have to make like appointments, reservations, whatever they call it. So it's like the only things that really being like prevented are like big like gatherings.
Yep.
For the most part, it's open, but
like
I said, like since they've done that, the numbers have jumped up, which you kind of expect. But
it's crazy. Yeah, so obviously like Minnesota was like a little bit more cautious about it, I think. So we just opened like restaurants like a week ago, and I think it's still carry out. I'm not sure if you can actually like go sit down in a restaurant right now.
Yeah.
But gyms are still like completely closed. Like obviously like movie theaters, stuff like that are closed. But I think we're still like waiting for that next phase and like waiting for the results to come back for numbers right now to see like where we'll go from here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's crazy. It's complicated. Dang, you just said something I was gonna say. Make a point. I forgot. You got any other comments, questions for me? Anything else to add?
I guess I never really asked. Like, how did your freshman season go?
I'm pretty good. I'd say my goal going in was like start 6 or more games, and just D3 in general. Like as a freshman, you have a lot better chance to start and play. Yeah. So I think individually, I met my goal, but I definitely as far as how I played, not what I would have wanted.
Okay.
Just because like I worked really hard. And I worked hard the whole season, but it's like my mentality once I got the spot wasn't as much like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next goal?
Yeah.
It's kind of like complacent and just like I met my goal and I didn't reach for anything bigger.
Yeah, gotcha.
So team-wise, not good.
Really?
No. Like I said, a lot of games were close. We fought hard. I just think but our team, our school just kind of has like never been that good. And
Okay.
it's like if we do anything better than, one of the last few schools, or if we have an even record, let alone a winning record, that's like a bonus or like a great season, instead of like we need to set the bar higher.
Yeah.
Like for individually all of us, and then as a team as well. So that's
Gotcha.
What about you? How's your team been, and how was your last season individually as well?
Yeah, so the last season was pretty good. I think we finished maybe 9-6, 9-7, somewhere around there. I think I definitely played a lot better this year, got more minutes, stuff like that. But I still wasn't like completely satisfied with where I'm at and stuff like that too. But our conference too, it's a tough conference. I've seen it like as far as like top 3 or top 4 in the U.S. for D3 soccer conferences. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of good competition, and so I think it's definitely a good level.
Is Crown College or Lakeland or Finlandia in your conference, or did you play them?
Yeah, we played. They're not in our conference, but we played Crown College, I think. Yeah.
Because there's some in email, and I've heard of like other guys. I think there's a guy that played football here, one of the high schools here, and like committed there. So
Okay.
I've heard of them before, and I thought they said they were like Minnesota.
Yeah. We played Crown College. That was I think that was our first game of the year, and I think we won like 3 or 4-0 or something like that. But
yeah, and then the other school is when my friend was getting recruited by a couple like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, like that area.
Okay, yeah.
Near you.
Do you know the names of those schools?
Like the one I said, Finlandia, is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, like really close to Canada.
Yeah.
Lakeland is in Wisconsin. I don't know the full
name of it. Yeah, I've heard of Lakeland for sure.
And then Crown College is another one he was kind of looking at, and I forgot. I think there's one other one in that area, but I forgot what that one was called.
Okay.
All right, so if y'all have any questions, now's the time before we go.
What's up, Drew?
You got anything else you want to add or ask or
I think we pretty much covered it, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good 50 minutes. Jeez.
Yeah, that's solid.
All right, now's your chance. Ask questions, fit it out. But like I've said, gonna try to do these consistently every Sunday. Someone different, soccer, fitness industry, that area. Thank you for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's great to talk about UPSL, something a little different than the other ones so far. I'll make sure I tag his Instagram below, and I post on YouTube. I'll put a link to his channel. He's posting a lot of training videos, good videos. So make sure you check him out. Check out his videos. Check out his accounts. So just thank you for talking with me. It's great to talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk to you after we've been DMing back and forth a little bit lately. Hope we stay in touch more.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on, man. That was good talk.
Yeah, looking forward to working more with you.
For sure.
Making more of these videos. I'll post this on my IGTV in just a few minutes, and I'll also post our interview on my YouTube channel. So thanks for everyone who tuned in live. For those of you watching on IGTV or YouTube, thank you as well. Thanking you from to the future. But thanks again, man. Good to talk to you. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. Yeah, you too, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah, see you later.